What I believe to be the best day of the season is finally here, November 7th. I can't help but reflect on this day 1 year ago. November 7th, 2018 lived up to its reputation as our team killed several great bucks. The vision of those hunts rolls through my memory. I only hope that today will be even half as good. With near-perfect conditions, team member Matt Hoffert is in his southeast Iowa stand for an all-day sit.
It's the morning of November 7th here in southeast Iowa, and it should be an awesome day. We had about 60 degrees yesterday and it dropped. High's supposed to be about 33 today, so we're set up this morning in a really good funnel. Buck. Well, like I was saying before, I got interrupted. It's the morning of November 7th. It should be an awesome day. We're set up in a funnel. The sun's just getting ready to rise, and we've already seen 3 bucks this morning. So it should be an awesome day. Pretty pumped.
Matt's morning starts off great with continuous buck action, but unfortunately nothing mature makes its way past the stand. With the rest of the day ahead, Matt tucks in, determined to see this through. 100 miles to the southwest, Owen Riegler is also heading out to hunt, hoping to finally encounter the buck he calls picket fence.
There's some deer right there. Just coming up into the corn. And there he is right there. Get back over to the path. He's just in behind the cedar to the left of the path. Now that's that short time 10. Well, it's a good start to the morning here so far. Got a little action picking up. She is chilly. Yeah, sure enough, tractor. Haha. He's about to spot her. There you go, got your girlfriend. Look at that steam coming out, prettiest thing ever. Man, is he ever worked up. He's acting like there's a hot dough in there, just bird dogging. Apparently this one's not. He left her alone right away and took off. I seen him limping. I seen he looks a lot like him, doesn't he? Round and round he goes. One of these years, he's gonna be a dandy buck. He looks a lot like that picket fence buck, actually. The last 2 times I've seen him right at first, I thought it was picket fence, but he's quite a bit smaller than that. Nice buck, though.
The young buck puts on a show, and despite its close resemblance, it is not picket fence, and Owen is still searching for his first encounter. Back in southern Iowa, I am also on stand.
November 7th, over the years, has been one of my favorite days, if not my favorite day. Just seems like this is that sweet spot in the rut when you've got a few does in estrus, enough to really get the bucks moving, but not a ton of does yet, so that the mature bucks aren't all, tied up with does and locked down. So you tend to get some really good hunts right in the 6th, 7th, 8th time frame. The spot that we're set up on, we're out on a little small ridge. We're probably about 300 yards from a couple of bean fields that are down below us. And everything we've seen so far, they've all been feeding on acorns up here. So maybe the food and the bed are the same place here, but this should be a bedding area. I'm looking forward to a good hunt today. This is a good spot, and we don't have anything that we have to do at the midday, so we can hang in here for a while. As long as the action's decent, we're gonna stick. Here comes that one-eyed buck. That's a shooter. Are you on him? He's heading back to the right. He's heading back to the right. No. Oh, we're screwed.
I can see him.
I've got no more shots. Are you on him?
It's too thick.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm on him, but it's pretty thick.
Just forget it. If you remember back a couple of weeks, I was talking about a one-eyed buck that had a messed up rack, big old mature deer. That was him, but it got pretty messy there, and I could have killed him maybe, but I'm not sure that we would have had the footage. He was at about 25, cutting through there, and there were plenty of openings that I could have stopped him in, but once again, you're trying to get video, and so I waited, and I thought, well, he's going to turn, he's going to come right down through here, like he's supposed to, but he didn't. He went up to the field edge, locked up, turned, headed back into the timber, and then I did stop him. He was about 35, and I had an open lane, but there was no view for the camera, so I had to let him walk. Then of course he got pretty spooky after that. But there's a lot of morning left, and there could be any other deer, any number of other bucks that could show up, so we're not going to pack it in. But it was exciting, to have the plan work, but it was disappointing when I wasn't able to pull off the shot.
My hunt ends with a fawn bedded at the base of the tree, and me thinking about how we messed up on the one-eyed buck. It was cool to finally see him, but I do wish the outcome would have been different. Overall, the action is good, what we hoped for. I saw a shooter, Owen watched a buck do all he could to find the hot doe he was tracking, and Matt Hoffert enjoys great deer movement all morning. For their afternoon hunt, Josh Sparks and Max Mongrello are in eastern Iowa on a boat, heading to hunt a public land spot they discovered while scouting during the summer.
Well, here it is, November 7th, guys, and Max and I are all set up for our evening hunt. We're on a big ridge that we're hoping to catch these bucks, just cruising, and we know there's a bunch of does that bed near here, so our wind is supposed to be going this way, and it'll kind of lead down to the water, but unfortunately we're getting some kicks all around, and that's just something we always deal with on this spot. There's never really a consistent wind. We've still got quite a few hours left. It's the best day of the year, November 7th. I know a bunch of guys around the state have been having good hunts. It's pretty sunny right now. It's hard to see anything. But as it gets later into the evening, I think I'm going to give calling a go. If we can get this wind straightened out a little bit. And hopefully we just got luck on our side. And we can get a buck to cruise through and see what happens.
Looking at us. I gotta wait to give you the ball. Here comes something. See it? No, it's a different buck. Big buck, big buck, big buck. No, you shoot him if you can. You see that buck? Walking the other way. Where's he at? I can't see over there. The sun's so bad. That's a stud. The other buck just got in the chase.
Well, it's about 3 o'clock here, and Max and I's action just went from 0 to 100. Basically, we had a buck. We heard some walking right towards us, and I peeked around this tree in front of me, and it was a good 8-pointer. Not one that I wanted to shoot, so I asked Max if he wanted to shoot him, and he said yes, but the way that we've got this camera arm set up is kind of weird, and he told me he didn't have his release on, so I took my release off, gave it to him, and then we got the bow switched around, and he got a little bit of something and just stomped off probably to 40 yards. So we got the camera to me, and as I was trying to get the exposure right for him, because he's in the shadow, like I mentioned, it's super sunny, out of nowhere came a doe running, and all we could hear was grunting, and there's a stud behind her. I don't think we got any footage of it, and that's my bad. I couldn't see them in the camera because it was so bright from what I exposed for on the other buck. So, I don't know, that's a buck I'd kill. Absolutely. Unfortunately, we can't show them to you. Looked like just a big 10, but that was awesome. That's cool to see a buck we'd kill, and hopefully that doe will bring him right by us in the next few hours.
Josh and Max wait for the doe to come back, hoping to get another look at the big buck. In southeast Iowa, Matt Hoffert is still grinding through his all-day sit, seeing plenty of deer, but nothing mature.
about 3:45 and we just had a doe and 2 fawns work their way by us. We got about an hour and a half of camera light left. We've had an awesome day, just no big deer. But we've had movement pretty regularly throughout the day, so hopefully the best is yet to come. It's 4 o'clock and we just had a lone doe come through the funnel, acting really weird. She's by herself, peed a couple times for a really long time, kept looking over her shoulder. So we have about an hour and 20 minutes left to see if there's anything behind her. Hear me scrot. Buck coming. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, he's down. We've been sitting all day and had probably one of the most exciting sits I've ever had. We just didn't see any big deer. But then that guy came and gave me maybe a 10-yard shot, and he's down at like 40 yards away. So, November 7th, baby. All day sit, came down to the wire, but that was awesome. Oh man. Just got everything out of the tree, and we're gonna go up to this deer. He maybe ran 40 yards. He's laying right over here, so let's go check him out. Oh man. Oh man. Thanks, man. Oh. Well, we got things packed up pretty quick on the 7th and headed home, but I wanted to get this guy out and give you a better look at him in daylight. He's a great buck, got a really huge body on him, massive head, real wide, heavy rack. And we just had an awesome day on November 7th. I think he either heard us or saw us and knew something wasn't quite right. So he came in pretty cautiously, but I think those deer behind us saved the day because he kept looking up at us and then over at them, up at us, over at them. And I think they relaxed him just enough for him to hang around long enough for me to get a shot. But what an awesome deer, what an awesome day in the Iowa timber, and I'm more than happy to put my Iowa Unisex archery tag around this guy.
But it was exciting, you know, to have the plan work, but it was disappointing when I wasn't able to pull off the shot.
One of these years, he's gonna be a dandy buck. He looks a lot like that picket fence buck, actually.
We've been sitting all day and had probably one of the most exciting sits I've ever had. Oh my gosh, he's down.
Matt Hoffert's hunt is a perfect example of why the 7th is so magical. The timing is perfect. Some does are in estrus stirring the pot of local bucks, but not so many does are hot that all the mature bucks are tied up with actual breeding. That will come soon, leading to a lull in the action. November 7th is the storm before the calm. At the same time Matt filled his tag, Josh and Max encountered another solid buck, confirming that they're in the right spot. At dark, they move their stands 80 yards to the north in preparation for the wind switch that is in the forecast for tomorrow. I choose to spend the evening targeting the big 8, but no dice. My highlights are a quick glance at a good young buck, a distant look at a solid 8-pointer, and another encounter with my neighbor's dog. I only wish that dog had a set of antlers. I seem to have him on a tight pattern. Owen targeted the digits buck from his walnut stand, but the action was again slow. November 7th represents a divide in the season. On the front, the action keeps improving each day. Then for a few days it rides the ridge before dropping off into the Ruts Valley on the other side. Each day more does come into estrus, decreasing the chances of finding a buck alone. The cold part of the rut comes next. We look forward to it. The lonely biting northwest winds, the gray skies, and the snow flurries. Maybe the best is behind us. Maybe it isn't. There's only one way to find out. We must keep on chasing November.